is a hole in the ground that now has water in the bottom of it. But according to the Yavapai creation story, that hole is where they initially emerged out of the earth before there was water in it. They emerged, they populated the land, years passed, then suddenly water starts rising out of Montezuma as well, their place of emergence. It starts covering the land. And they knew it was going to be bad, so they sealed one woman up, Kachina woman, sealed one woman into a piece of wood along with woodpecker, sealed it with pitch. The waters rose, covered all the land. When the waters receded, this piece of wood with Kachina and woodpecker in it comes to rest on Thunder Mountain. Woodpecker releases her out of the wood. She comes down off of Thunder Mountain, hikes back into this canyon, and bathes in an enchanted pool, and then gives birth to the progenitors of the people. When you look at native tribes all over this planet, I've done a lot of research on shamanism and native peoples. Every tribe name, when the whites came and said, "What does your tribe name mean?" It always said, they said the people. It means the people. That's just a little aside note there. So another version is she didn't go back here in the canyon. She wasn't sealed up in a piece of wood, but she was over on Mingus Mountain. She was laying on the mountain at sunrise. Father Sky's rays hit her uterus in a certain way, and then water's involved somehow. But again, you have a virgin birth. So there you have two major features of Judeo-Christianity that are also here. A flood and a virgin birth, right? So with the Hopi, they emerged someplace else. I don't remember where that is, but they say they emerged out of the earth, helped by ant people, by the way. But they emerged out of the earth and were immediately contacted by star beings, Kachinas. One of them, Kachinas, was named Masao, and Masao told them, "You cannot stay upon the land of your emergence." So they had to move, and Masao led them, and then he led them on and on and on. And now that the Hopi are talking, well, let me add in there, all of these native peoples believe that this world has been populated and then destroyed 3 previous times, that this is the 3rd world, each time destroyed by fire or water. And they also believe that this 4th world is ending now, in our time. And so now they're talking like they never have before. And, you know, when a stranger comes and asks you what you believe and then tells you your beliefs are foolish, you don't tell them everything, do you? No. So what these people kept secret the most was their relationship with star beings. And it's not history, it's ongoing, it's never ended. So, believe it or not, native peoples all over the globe are now being told, now's the time to talk. They're being told when they're in prayer, their ancestors tell them, you need to talk now, because this is the end of the 4th world. And everybody needs to know about this. So they're talking. And in their talking, they say, in that wandering, they went as least, this is the Hopi now saying, they went at least as far as Chichen Itza, probably much further. That's all the way to the Yucatan. They believe they probably went all the way to South America. Wow. So that's a big trek. So there we have a 3rd major feature of Judeo-Christianity that you have here also. A wandering of a people led by what? A God. Right? Same things. Mm-hmm. Now here, in this, you have a geological, physical metaphor, if you will, of this creation story. The canyon represents, now when the people are birthed, masculine and feminine are birthed, right? Men and women. Each of us have estrogen and testosterone in us. We all have masculine and feminine characteristics. So these 2 spires represent masculine and feminine. Kachina woman is the feminine energy, the other one is the masculine. The canyon represents the birth canal. You have the balance of masculine and feminine. Back here is a cave you can't see because of the trees. That represents something called the sipapu. And that means the place of emergence. And then out here, the next place we're going to go is called Mystic Vista. It's a mound. That one and another one over here, that represents the afterbirth of the birth. Whole lot of symbolism here. Speaking of symbolism, you guys were just at Mesa Verde. There were just dozens of kivas there. And a kiva is a hole in the ground, a circular hole that's lined with stone. It's a ceremonial hole. It has features in it that are aligned to north, south, east, and west. It has a depression in one side of it that is the sipapu, the place of emergence. They cover it with a covering. They have a hatch in the center and a ladder that goes down. For ceremony, they open the hatch and go down the ladder and enter and have ceremony and contact star beings, Kachinas. All of this is so highly symbolic, most people don't have any idea. Number one, these people in North America looked at Europeans, they called them people of the straight line, and they view themselves as people of the circle. When you have a straight line, you have two things you don't have with a circle, a beginning and an end. When you have that, that engages this, to analyze. Where did it all start? Where is it all going to end? Where do I start? Where do I end? All of that analytical stuff. These people never had that. The circle represents everything to them. It is the continuity of life. It's the cycle of life. Everything happens in endless, repetitious cycles. The kiva represents those cycles. It also represents the interconnectedness of all things. It represents the earth. It represents the sky. A whole lot of symbolism there. When they go down that ladder, they're re-entering symbolically the first world, the place of their emergence, right? When they come back out of that ladder, they are re-entering this world and thereby ceremonially recreating this world, adding stability to this world. Very, very highly symbolic. So anytime you see Native Americans in a sweat lodge, a kiva, a medicine wheel, it's always a circle, always aligned to north, south, east, west, and it's always has this symbolism built in it. Even when you see them dancing in a circle, same thing. It's a ceremony to help recreate this world and provide stability to this world, and to connect themselves to that. That ladder in and out of there, it's in anthropology it's called an axis mundi. And it's that about which all of creation continuously churns and spins. In the Norse legends, up where you're from, they had the tree, right? The Norse gods. That was their axis mundi. So this ladder represents that. And it's a connection between the sacred and the mundane, heaven and earth, the first world and this world. Lots and lots of symbolism there. So these people are not dummies by any means. They're very connected to this land. And Masao, the one that led them in wandering, they say that Masao is the one that taught them how to live respectfully on the earth, to the earth, and all beings. That's what Masao taught them. And I'm careful here. I don't want to step on anyone's religious beliefs, but to point out another similarity. Now, I've told you they have an ongoing relationship with star beings. Christianity started at the fall of the Roman Empire, right? The oldest civilization on earth is that of Sumer, ancient Sumer, which is in the area of the Tigris and Euphrates, Iraq and Iran, the southernmost part of Turkey, right? Sumer, then the Akkadians, then the Babylonians, where if you read the Bible, Yahweh cast out the Jews and they were made prisoner by the Babylonians, right? The Babylonians were two civilizations after the Sumerians. Sumerians the oldest. We have many Sumerian texts written in cuneiform. And in those texts are the progenitors of the major stories you hear in the Judeo-Christian Bible. Different names, but exactly the same happenings, exactly the same characteristics with Noah, Adam and Eve, and all of that. But what the Sumerians have that the Bible doesn't have is connection with star beings. They called them Anunnaki. They actually say in the Sumerian text that the Anunnaki created humankind. Now, the Bible that we have today is not the complete Bible. You know, you have the book, they call them books. The book of Job, the book of Mark, John, Luke, all of those, right? But in the 1947 and 45, there were some texts found in Nag Hammadi and Qumran in Egypt with some of these other books. Like there's a book of Enoch that talks about star beings. Mm-hmm. In the First Ecumenical Council in 525 for the Catholic Church, they reviewed all the books and decided some of them should not be kept in the Bible. So the Bible that we all are going by now is not complete.
Nicaea.
Right, the Council of Nicaea, 525.
Yeah.
So those books are still in the Vatican. And I suspect that they're the ones that talk about star beings, and that's a long story to say. I think there's more similarities. That's another big one.